This killer finds out his secret has been exposed. On the 18th of April 2015, dispatch received a frantic 911 call from Lubbock, Texas. One that left them scrambling to piece together the horrifying events unfolding on the other end of the line. Before we proceed, a quick heads up. The following is a real 911 dispatch call that contains intense and potentially distressing content. Listener discretion is advised.
Please stop, please. It's not working. How is this working?
Alright.
How is this working?
You think I'm playing?
No, I know you're not playing. I know how you are. Okay, why are you doing it? You don't want me, right? You don't want me, right? David, do you want me?
You can't take on board.
David, why are you doing this? Why? Stop! You're totally here right now. What is your problem? You don't want to be in this. You love this family, right? Stop!
This is David Carillo, the man whose hands silenced the lives of his ex-wife, 27-year-old Jennifer Cruz, and her boyfriend, 31-year-old Albert Martinez. Why did he do it? The short and obvious answer would be jealousy. Love gone sour, a tale as old as time. But this chilling story runs much deeper than that. Carillo is a 29-year-old who worked at an electric motor repair company. He and his ex-wife, Cruz, were married for 12 years. Carillo and Cruz had been lovers since high school. The two met when they were 14 and 12. Carillo and Cruz have 2 kids together. Although they had been together for a decade, their relationship had a great deal of infidelity existing within. Carillo had been cheating on Cruz for most of their relationship. The ex-couple have had several breakups during their relationship until they separated one last time. Cruz moved on with Martinez, and Carillo was in a new relationship at the time of this incident. They both had joint custody of both kids, and Carillo had the freedom to pick them up on certain days. But that wasn't enough for Carillo. And the 2 a.m. 911 call dispatch received on the 18th of April 2015 proved that this theory was indeed right. It also served as evidence that led to the arrest of David Carillo 2 hours after the call was made. This is how the interrogation went when Carillo was brought in for questioning.
Hey, my name is Detective Yolanda here with the Lubbock Police Department. And today, really haven't asked us any questions, but I just want to kind of introduce us and we need to talk to you about a case. You agreed to come in and talk to us. I appreciate that. I know it's kind of, the way we approached you.
I asked them, and you're detained, and okay.
Well, I appreciate you agreeing to come in and talk to us today. We're just going to basically talk about just some history. Your cell phone, do you have it with you?
No, it's at my house.
At your house, and what was your home address?
2206 100th Street.
What kind of phone is it?
That's Samsung 4. No 4.
And do you know your phone company? Is it AT&T or is it Sprint? Okay, and do you have any children?
Yes, I have 2.
Okay, what are their names? And who's the mom to the children?
Jennifer Cruz.
As you can see, the detective is trying to gather some background information about the relationship between the now deceased Jennifer Cruz and her ex-husband, the murderer, David Carillo. After obtaining this information, they informed him of the reason for the interview. And that's when David broke down in tears.
We do want to talk to you about Jennifer. We went to her house today and early this morning, and she was found deceased in her house.
No.
Yes, and that's why you're here. We need to talk to you.
That's not true.
Give you that information.
No. What?
And we just kind of want to talk to you about, y'all's relationship, how long you've known her. You're not in custody. You're not under arrest or anything. You don't have any warrants or anything. since we are talking, usually we talk to the person closest to him. I do need to read you some information for us to continue talking, okay? And I know you probably need some time to kind of process it. Because I know you're probably going to want to know some information, and we can give you some information, and then you maybe help us with this case, okay? Do you understand? And we'll just go through some history with you, okay? Let's get through this so we can get through some more, okay? Get some more, maybe we can figure out some of them. Maybe you can answer some questions for us about what was going on in her life, okay? You have the right to remain silent.
After a while, Carillo gathered himself and began answering the question. He believed that he had convinced the detectives that he was innocent and free of any blame with those tears.
14, she was like 12, I think. I think it was like a year old.
Did y'all meet her in Lubbock?
No, she's from Brownfield, and I'm from Meadow. We were friends at first. And then we kind of got together like a year later. After we would see each other around like at quinceañeras and parties, stuff like that. And I don't know, for a long time. I can't remember.
Carillo was so busy putting up an act that he forgot to ask what had happened to Jennifer. Any normal, innocent person would want to know the cause of death if they weren't previously informed. But he was the cause of death. He already knew how everything went down. What he didn't know was how to convince the detectives that he might be innocent. Carillo went on to tell the detectives the whole dynamics of their relationship and how things ended between him and his ex-wife.
So the first time was in August. When was the second time? Oh, wait.
No, this was the same time in August, the last time. I can't even remember. We never really split up like this. Out of the 12 years, we've only split up twice like this. And I think it was only for 3 months. And we got back together.
So y'all mainly split up because you weren't happy with your job and just this.
I was miserable. Coming home, I was working like 16-hour shifts. So I was miserable with myself. Working too much. That's all I did. I never got to see my kids much because, it was like 5:20 in the morning all the way to 9 at night.
Where were you working at then?
I also working for Lubbock as a truck guard.
And what are the qualifications for that? What was the job duties?
It was an ATM tech, and we deliver money to the banks and Walmart and stores.
So it's an armored, the armored truck.
Yeah.
And was she working? Was Jennifer working?
She was working too. We were both working. Our house was getting expensive.
Where was Jennifer working at that time?
I think she was working at now, Precision.
What did she do? What did she do there?
She was a phlebotomist, and I was putting her through college. That's what made it harder, because there's times where she worked part-time. I had to work even more. My house was expensive. She wanted a new car. I'd buy her a new car.
What kind of car did you buy? Does she still have it? Or?
Bought her a 2010 Impala. She told her that someone hit her. someone hit her, and they got totaled, so they paid it off. And I was letting her use my car, that Dodge.
The red Dodge.
Yeah,
What kind of car is that? Dodge.
Dodge Avenger.
In a bid to divert the detective's suspicions, Carillo tried to paint himself as the perfect husband and father who was just a little bit flawed, working extra shifts, lending her his car, and buying her a new car. The perfect husband incapable of harming her. But the police could see through him. They had the evidence they needed, but they wanted something reasonable to pin down on his statement. So they pressed further.
Relationship when it was good, whenever y'all, did y'all ever, did the police ever have to come to your house? Was there ever any police reports filed in Brownfield or Meadow or anywhere where y'all lived or here in Lubbock?
Never heard. I've never hit her. I've cheated on her a lot when I was younger. I hurt her real bad doing that. But I stopped like when I was 26. It was 25, 26. I started getting older and I was like, I can't be doing this to her.
Did y'all never argue, never had any?
We argue here and there, but it would never be physical. I'll never hit her. Never.
Did y'all ever have to call the police to y'all's house?
The only time she had called them is when we're split up and I was trying to get my stuff and she wasn't letting me get my stuff, and I got upset and I broke my TV because she didn't want to give me my TV. He was like, well, you can have it. I'm like, but other than that, he let us go. I'm like, I'm just here to get my stuff. I still got stuff over there. I still got tools. I still got painting stuff. I still got my car out there. My car in the back. I still have my gun out there.
What kind of gun was it?
It was a Glock 40. I think it's still in the little container.
What color container was it in?
It's black.
Do you remember where you left it in the house?
It's in... I know I took my shotgun, but I left that behind.
Carillo had just admitted to owning the murder weapon, a Glock 40. Police had discovered 2 .40 caliber shell casings beside the bodies of the deceased. They had also found an empty Glock 40 caliber gun case in one of the home's closets. They were halfway to catching him red-handed. After several minutes of trying to get him to open up, the detectives asked him when he last heard from Cruz. Carillo revealed that he and Cruz talked about her boyfriend, Martinez, threatening him with a gun via Facebook Messenger.
When was the last time you spoke to Jennifer Cruz?
I think it was Thursday.
Did you talk to her face to face, or did you talk to her on the phone?
Yeah. She was saying something about her new boyfriend, I guess, he got out of prison. He's been threatening me. And I told her, you need to tell him to stop already, man. I was like, he messaged me saying that I requested his mom on Facebook. I don't care. It was like, me and Jennifer have been split up already since August, so I don't know how long that is. It's good for y'all. Yeah, we might have had some words. He threatened me with a gun, and I'm like, well, I got guns too, but I was trying to scare him.
He threatened who with a gun?
He did.
He threatened you?
Yeah.
How did he threaten you? Was it on face to face?
No, Messenger. And
through Facebook?
yeah, through Facebook. I told him I got a gun too, and I just gave him a little picture of my whole gun when I had all my own pictures.
Of the 40?
Yeah, for 40. And I wasn't gonna do anything. I was like, man, just leave me alone already, man. And then he texted me the next day. Why you requesting my mom? I was like, I don't know.
So he actually sent you a text message?
No, Facebook.
Facebook?
And that's when I called Jennifer and I was like, hey, what's going on here? I was like, what are y'all doing? I was like, what is this problem? I mean, come on. I don't know the guy. I know he's from Brownfield.
Do you know his name?
Bo, I think, Martinez. I don't know his real name. And all I know, he was a drug dealer, I guess. A drug dealer. And,
How long have they been together?
it's crazy because me and Jennifer were having relations, you'd say, about a month ago. She would come in the house, or I would go to her house, do what we do. So I didn't see that coming. I thought she was talking to someone else from Brownfield. I was like, do what you.
What do you mean you didn't see it coming? Like, what did you not see?
That new guy, I didn't. Because she was talking to another guy. His name was Sergio. From Brownfield also. And I was like, well, I thought they were together. I thought it was her boyfriend. But I don't know what's the deal. I guess she was trying to be a playboy. I don't know what she was trying to do. And then he pops up. Okay. I didn't know him too. I didn't notice him until like a week ago. Maybe. About a week.
Do you know what he drives? Or?
I think he drives a Mercedes around.
And when's the last time that you spoke to her face to face?
I haven't spoken to her. I don't know.
Carillo's answers to these questions weren't entirely truthful. He claimed to have received messages on Facebook from Martinez, but failed to provide any screenshots or proof that their interaction on Facebook Messenger actually occurred. He also alleged that Martinez had threatened him with a gun, but this accusation seemed more reflective of Carillo's own behavior. Why? Because Carillo had previously threatened one of Cruz's ex-boyfriends. Philip Trevino, the ex-boyfriend, testified in court as a witness, telling jurors that when he briefly dated Cruz in 2013 after her initial split from Carillo, he received a threatening text message that he believed came from Carillo. The message read, "I got that 40 cal flamethrower on my hip. She's mine 11 years. However, Carillo was right about one thing. Martinez used to deal drugs and did time for it. It was why he didn't trust his kids with Martinez. At least that was what he said.
Was it this week? Or?
I think it was last week.
So the last
That's
time.
when I found out that guy she was with. And like when she gets with guys and calls a boyfriend, she won't talk to him. She won't ignore me. And, which is fine because we really.
Was he not your girlfriend?
Yeah, and I was like, it's all good. But just as long as he doesn't hurt my kids.
So why do you think he started threatening you? You said you started.
I told him. I told him I was like, don't hurt my kids. Just take care of them. Don't hurt them. That's all I ask you to do. And he goes off.
Was he living at that house with Jennifer?
No, but it's only been, I don't know, a few days. I didn't know him. I didn't see that. I just seen like a profile pic of her. I thought she was actually with another guy. So, and I messaged her, but man, just tell him the dang kids. And yeah, I might have said something kind of rude, but not threatening. And that's when he threatens me with Anina, I guess they call it nowadays.
What is that?
Anina at 9.
Okay.
So I was like, you didn't have to go all there, man. But I got guns too, but I was like, trying to scare them off.
But according to Martinez's sister, he served his time and had quit that life a long time ago. The interrogation had been going on for about an hour. Carillo had still not asked about Cruz's cause of death, and he hadn't shed any more tears after that. All he was doing was weaving his web of lies. The detectives continued listening to him, hoping he might eventually confess, but he didn't. Instead, Carillo kept rambling about irrelevant matters that offered no help to his impending case. So, they began asking the tough questions.
When the police got over there this morning, and SWAT's sitting out there, and SWAT took you out of your house, what did you think? Because that is not a normal occurrence.
I've had that done before.
You have? And
When I got
what happened when you were taken out of your house by SWAT the last time? Why did they have to do that?
when my brother got busted.
Okay.
Yeah. Man, I really.
So what was your thought this time?
Drugs again.
Okay.
I heard Jennifer thought I was a drug dealer.
Okay.
I'm like, I'm not selling no drugs, man.
Why did you think you were?
Because everybody, some guy named, I don't know his name, but he's like, she invited me a while back to her house. I was like, what's going on? I was like, what are you doing? She was questioning me like, what are you talking about? I heard you were selling drugs. I was like, selling drugs? I mean, that's what I went to jail the first time. My brother's in prison for years. But why would I do something? I told her, I work hard. So I heard different. It's like, I heard you're selling drugs for Rex.
Which brother is in the penitentiary for drugs?
My brother Michael.
Is he older or younger than you are?
He's like,
So you believe that it was probably a drug-related thing that Jennifer had called into the police, and that's why the SWAT guys were there and had asked you to come out of the home.
But just as expected, Carillo continued with the lies. This is also the moment when detectives asked Carillo to provide evidence that Martinez had sent threatening messages on Facebook. The detectives were growing tired of Carillo's act, so they moved on to the next real question, one that would leave Carillo trembling with fear.
You said you didn't have didn't have your Glock at your house, right? When was the last time you fired a weapon, like a gun like that? Or your shotgun, any kind of...
I've never shot my shotgun before. I shot that Glock when I was taking the test for Lewis.
So it's been a while since. So right now you haven't shot a gun in the last 24 hours. No. We have a test that we need to do on your hand, and that will just show if you fired a gun. Okay. We'll do that right now if you don't mind. We'll go get someone that way. Just stay right there. They'll come to you.
The officer suggested doing a GSR test. A gunshot residue test is a forensic analysis used to detect the presence of gunshot residents on a person's hands, clothing, or other surfaces. At this point, Carillo knew he was in trouble. He was just sitting there, hoping that the test would come out negative. While the test was being run, the detective hit the nail on the head and told Carillo about the 911 call recording, and that was when he knew that his secret was out. He froze.
Whatever you do, sell drugs, don't do it around my kids.
I'm going to ask you something, David, and you need to be totally honest with me. We started working this case at 3 in the morning, okay? and there was a 911 call. And in that 911 call, she says you're at her house. Okay? That needs to be explained by you. That's why I asked you so specifically, when was the last time you've been there? Because in the 911 call, she's calling your name and it's going to put the gun down. And it's all recorded. You know, you've been very cooperative with us. But right now is the time that you need to tell the truth. You know, what happened. And both also did. You know that. Okay? It wasn't a drug deal. It wasn't anything else. David, you were there. Okay? Now, as to why you were there, that's what you have to explain. I went back and listened to that 911 call. And she's saying, David, put the gun down. David, it's not worth it. I listened to it. It's all recorded. And it's not worth it over the relationship. You don't want me anymore. All that's on. It's all recorded. So we know that you were there. Now, David, it's time for you to tell us what really happened. You know, I've been up front with you, you know, from the beginning. I said we need to talk to you about her.
David Carillo narrated his crime to the detectives after being caught. He also told them where he dumped the murder weapon and why he went to the house where Cruz and Martinez were.
So why'd you go to the house?
I was going to confront him. Tell him why he's threatening me.
How far were you from Bo when you shot him? Do you remember?
Not far.
Do you remember where you were shot at?
I'm scared.
We're scared. How about Jennifer? Do you know how many times you shot her?
That's scary.
So after you shot both of them, is there anyone else in the house? Anybody else with you? Does your friend know? Does she know what happened?
The detectives asked some other questions to get the truth out of Carillo because he had been lying for most of the interrogation. Eventually, he broke down and confessed to everything: the weapon, his intent, and the moments following the murders.
That caused you to go into this kind of mode, this defensive mode, that you felt you needed to confront?
Do you go to the bathroom or anything? Need some water? Want some water?
You make a threat against you directly, David? What was it, do you remember?
Said just make sure you don't get hit with my Nina. So you better cowboy up.
You don't get hit with my Nina? You better cowboy up? And what does that mean to you, sir?
It means he was, once he sees me, he's gonna shoot me.
You had told us that you had your Glock 40 in that house, and we've gone over that extensively, but we now know that there's a good chance that you had it all the time. Is that correct?
No.
When did you, was this?
I've had it for a few months.
Okay. Was that the same weapon that you used? Okay. How did you enter the home? Do you remember?
Window.
A window? Okay. Is that the same window you told me about?
No, there's another one.
Okay. And when you entered the window, how did you open the window to enter the residence?
It just pushed up.
Okay. Did you do anything to try to prevent yourself from leaving a fingerprint or any trace of yourself, or was that a concern at the time?
When it escalated.
Okay. So your intention on going over there was to what, sir?
Just to scare him.
Okay. Do you have the weapon on your person, on you? When you entered the home, how far did you have to go before you made contact with Jennifer and Bo? Who made contact first, you or them?
He did.
He did? Okay. Did he come out of the bedroom?
Yeah.
Was there?
Well, I went into the bedroom and he got up real fast and
just happened that quick?
Well,
Were they laying in bed or were they?
yeah, they're laying in bed, I guess.
What was he wearing? Do you remember? Did he have a weapon at the time?
I'm not too sure.
Did you, as soon as you saw him, did you just go ahead and shoot at him? And what happened when you saw him?
I was telling him, I was like, why you threatening me? This and that.
Did you see when she called 911? Could you tell she was calling 911?
Yeah, but she said it wasn't happening.
Remember, if you haven't liked or subscribed to this channel, please take a few seconds to do so. Thank you. Finally, David Carillo was charged with the deaths of Jennifer Cruz and Albert Martinez. And on February 8, 2018, Carillo stood trial. The suspect pleaded not guilty to capital murder charges in the couple's shooting deaths. Carillo's defense attorneys argued that the evidence didn't prove he acted intentionally when he shot and killed the couple, suggesting instead that he acted in self-defense. However, this couldn't have been true. Carillo broke into the house with the intent to kill the two lovers. In the 911 recording, we could hear Cruz say, "You're the one who has the gun. We haven't done anything to you." His former lover, Jennifer Sesteta, was one of 6 people that prosecutors called to testify on the 3rd day of Carillo's capital murder trial. She told the jurors about Carillo's feelings of disdain towards Martinez and how he never approved of him. She also mentioned that the day before the shooting, Carillo asked her if she had ever thought of killing anyone before or ever shot someone. Sesteta also told jurors that Carillo told her that if he had a silencer for his pistol, everything will be put to rest because that's what I want to do with my ex and her boyfriend. On the day of the incident, Carillo told her to tell anyone who asked that they were together all night. All this proved that this was premeditated murder, not an act of self-defense. But that wasn't all. Another witness, Nathan Swartwood, one of Carillo's clients for his self-owned car wash business, mentioned that the suspect had reached out to him on Facebook a day before the shooting to ask about obtaining a silencer for his Glock 22 .40 caliber handgun. Gerald Narbez, Carillo's co-worker at the motor repair company and a testifier, also told jurors that the defendant had asked about silencers and talked about his ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend threatening him. The court ruled that the evidence presented at trial was insufficient for a possible self-defense finding to be included in its charge to the jury, which guided their hour-long deliberations. Jurors of the 137th District Courtroom found David Carillo guilty of capital murder in the shooting deaths of Jennifer Cruz and Albert Martinez, and was sentenced to life in prison without parole. Justice was served. But some questions remain unanswered. Was Martinez really threatening Carillo? Were the texts real? If they weren't, what exactly drove Carillo to kill his ex-wife and her lover at 3 a.m? It is true, the thoughts of a jealous lover harbor darkness, an evil that drives even the most ordinary person to unthinkable acts. Now you know about this, you're going to need to know about this next one.